Today on ELN Morning.
No mask, no work. One Elon dining worker tells ENN her story after getting suspended for taking off her mask during her shift.
Rushing to Zoom.
It's actually kind of remarkable how effective the Zoom platform is.
And a fraternity council is taking Fall Rush virtual, how they're making connections with potential new members.
And taking your kids to work, how one Elon professor changed his daily routine for his children.
Today, September 10th, 2020.
This is ELN Morning. Hello, and thanks for joining us this Thursday. Welcome to ELN Morning. I'm Amanda Gibson.
And I'm Baylor Rodman.
Students aren't the only ones getting suspended for violating coronavirus restrictions. Employees are too. Elon dining employee Amanda Parrish is returning to work tonight after she was suspended last weekend for taking off her mask during her shift. Parrish says she was feeling dehydrated and wanted fresh air, but kept her mask off for too long. When Parrish heard of her suspension, she says she was scared.
I had a panic attack, dropped to the floor, started crying because that job with y'all is my life. Like, that makes the biggest difference for me.
Elon Dining did not respond to our request for comment, but Parrish thought the punishment was fair. She says she learned her lesson.
Be fair about speaking to me and saying, look, we don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to do things. It made me a whole lot more comfortable, even though I was afraid of losing my job. I really love being around y'all, and I'm glad they're giving me another opportunity. I'm going to take it so much more seriously.
Parrish doesn't know if she was paid during her suspension. She is currently talking to her doctor to seek documentation to have permission to take off her mask in a safe way when needed.
Today is day one of Brotherhood rounds of Interfraternity Council's fall recruitment. But as our Maeve Ashbrook reports, this process that usually takes place in person has now transitioned online due to the coronavirus pandemic.
While Elon students are usually rushing around Loy Center trying to receive a bid, the sidewalks are empty this year.
I think I've written out like 4 or 5 different recruitment plans, and we didn't have it set in stone until about a month before.
Vice President of Recruitment for IFC, Jack Martinez, says Fall Rush is always smaller scale, but with 81 potential new members, he's just glad they have a chance to participate.
Nothing negative, so far so good. I mean, obviously, everyone wishes it was in person, but I think everyone's a lot happier that we were able to still have recruitment rather than not have it at all.
Elon's newest fraternity, Alpha Epsilon Pi, is completing their first official fall rush with IFC this year. While they went through the process with IFC last spring, Rush Chair Andy Edelman says he likes working under IFC's schedule, and virtual recruitment has been a smooth process.
If we do have to do another virtual rush, it should be fine based off of how this has gone. I'm fully confident that this is going to be a very positive and productive recruitment period for our fraternity.
As for the rest of the week, Edelman says AE Pi does not plan on having any in-person bid day events, but Martinez says all potential new members must complete an in-person bid signing if they choose to join, and small-scale events are allowed if fraternities so choose.
I think they've mentioned that maybe a football viewing party could be fine at the on-campus house with under 10 people.
Martinez says he is not sure whether or not Spring Rush will be online or in person, but this week has been a good test run for the future. Maeve Ashbrook, ELN Morning.
Friday is the last day fraternities can hold recruitment events, and bid signing day is Sunday. As Elon News Network reported last week, Penellic recruitment is going to be online no matter what this winter.
With the possibility of a May term replacing January short-term abroad programs, some Elon faculty are already looking into different arrangements. English professor Kathy Leday is busy creating a new itinerary for her Literary Landscapes of England course. Even though the dates for a potential Maymester have yet to be determined, Leday is excited for some of the benefits that are unique to this possible May term program.
In Europe and the UK, a lot of sites have limited hours during the winter. And so I think we'll be more flexible in the times that we can travel to different places.
Students who had already registered for a January short-term abroad program will be given preference for the trips offered in May. More information on this possible May term is expected to be announced by the end of the month.
Elon University presents a mix of special programs on their cultural calendar each semester, but this year it's handling campus events a little differently. Executive Director of Cultural and Special Programs Jeff Clark says the university plans these events a year out and have had to adjust them according to the coronavirus guidelines. The only in-person event so far was the Labor Day concert Monday night, which Clark says went smoothly.
Everybody's starting to get virtual fatigue from being online so much. So we hope that brings some kind of enjoyment and enlightenment to kind of get away from some of the other virtual things that people are having to do.
All of the remaining events for this semester are either entirely virtual or will have limited seating, which is determined by Elon's Reading Resilient team. Students can reserve tickets to those events by visiting ticketreturn.com/Elon.
The 2020 presidential race is heating up here in North Carolina. After President Trump made a stop in Winston-Salem on Tuesday, the president's son, Eric, made an appearance in High Point last night, where he applauded North Carolina's voting system.
And now you see what they're doing with the election, right? I mean, they know they can't win this thing. And so you're really lucky. You live in a super safe state. You can vote early and everything. But look what they're trying to do now.
For our full coverage of Eric Trump's stop in the Triad, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
There is individual responsibility, but we can't forget that there's also institutional responsibility.
And coming up, behind an Instagram account using anonymous testimony to voice concerns.
The Boldly Elon Solidarity Collective is taking to Instagram to post testimonials of concerned community members. 4 weeks into the semester, the collective is still advocating to close campus.
I find myself more frustrated at the shirking of institutional responsibility more than I am the shirking of individual responsibility.
Elon senior and collective member Will Bruno says he worries about students growing negligent as North Carolina state regulations are lifted. It's here where the Be Solidarity Collective hosted a die-in protest days before the start of class. At the time, they received multiple negative comments on their Instagram. Now, a month into the semester, Bruno says he feels some students are starting to realize the gravity of the situation.
It's cool to see that people understand that it's not just this isn't the collective. We're not just protesting against abstract political conditions or injustice.
The collective posts anonymous testimonials on their page to voice student, faculty, and staff concerns.
They break my heart that so many students and faculty members and staff members have to turn to an anonymous form by an organization that, by a student-run organization, in order to feel in order to express their concerns.
Another member of the collective, Jay Tiemann, who elected to take classes remotely, says he's frustrated with administration placing the responsibility largely in students' hands.
I'm sorry that Elon put us in this position where they expect us to police each other.
I think there's a hierarchy and a power dynamic here that I've seen been glossed over, and I think it's important.
The university denied our request for comment after reviewing the issues and concerns of students. Despite student concerns, case numbers on campus have remained relatively low. As of this morning, there are 25 cumulative coronavirus cases since the start of classes.
And here with the latest weather is our Gabriela Rivas-De, who's live on Citroen Plaza. Gabriela, good morning to you.
Thanks, Baylor and Amanda. It is a hot 80 outside today with clouds expected for most of the day. There's going to be a bright spot of sunshine around 7, and Instagram fans should expect to post a great sunset picture around 7:30 p.m. Now let's take a look at your Phoenix 5-day forecast. The clouds are expected to follow us throughout the weekend and on Monday, so plan on doing all your fun weekend activities indoors. On Tuesday, it's going to be a little chillier than the rest of us are used to, with temperatures dropping as low as 57. It's going to be a bit of a cloudy week, but I know we can get through it. That's it for the weather. Back to you, Baylor and Amanda.
All righty, Gabriela Rivas-De, again, live on Citroen Plaza. Gabriela, thank you. And after the break, the power of good Wi-Fi connection for the children of 2 Elon professors.
Although Rhodes Stadium has been empty of fans, that will change this Friday night when the Student Union Board hosts a socially distanced movie under the stars. Sub will be showing Crazy Rich Asians, which will start at 10:30 p.m. The main gate will open at 10, and students will be able to use Sub-provided socially distant blankets and be required to wear masks. At the end of the night, students will be allowed to keep the blankets provided by Sub as a free gift.
Professors are already having to adapt to teach courses during a pandemic, but it's an even greater challenge for those who are also parents. Our Margaret Faust caught up with one Elon professor who is bringing his children into a unique classroom.
When Elon professors Andrew Perry and Tita Ramirez learned their kids would be learning virtually, they had a decision to make.
We've lived so carefully for so long that we're just not quite ready to pop that bubble yet.
They didn't feel comfortable hiring a nanny or sending their 2 kids, Tomas and Nico, to daycare, so they brought them to school.
There's always something happening. It's hard to figure out all of the logistical puzzle pieces, but it's been great.
Having them sandwiched in between their mother and father's classes adds a layer of security.
If they have an emergency, they can come get me. Though we're 3 weeks in and they haven't gotten up once. They've been great. And so I'm able to focus on the task at hand, which is talking to my students about their writing.
And for the kids, it's Elon's internet speeds that seal the deal.
I mean, I like the Wi-Fi connection. It's actually good if you can position your chair the right way. You can get good Wi-Fi, and if you're playing Roblox, it doesn't glitch.
But the downside for all, the commute.
And it used to be that I had the 30 minutes in to get my head ready. And so now I have to do that in another space, because now the 30 minutes in are my little one is endlessly talking to me about the entire animal kingdom, which is all he's interested in right now. And
the drive home is the worst because my mom's car is always baking hot. One time I reached to get a sip of water, and it was literally as hot as tea, not even joking.
Margaret Faust, ELN Morning.
Well, it sounds like Tomas has figured out the right position for the Wi-Fi. He needs to show me because my virtual classes aren't always having the best connection.
I know. I mean, that was really such a cute story. I have not seen the kids around campus yet, but when I do, I am excited to see them, especially now that I know what the story is about.
Right. I'm sure they'll pop out to us now that we know about them. So that's all the news we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
And of course, for all the news you need to know when we're not on the air, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
And be sure to follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
Have a great day, Elon.